Have you ever felt a rush of inspiration while listening to your favorite song? I definitely know that I have. Music has a unique power to move us, stirring up emotions and sparking ideas in ways that other forms of art just might not be able to. As creatives, we often seek that spark to fuel our work, and music can be a potent catalyst for this. Today, I want to explore how music influences creative inspiration and how you can harness its power to elevate your creative projects. Let's get into it. Everybody, welcome back to Creativity Made Easy. I'm your host, creative coach and consultant, Dustin Peed. I'm so glad that you're here. Each week I release this podcast episode, and everything that I do is to help creatives know themselves, their process, and their team so that they can create greater things together. I hope that's why you're here, and I hope that's what you gain from today's episode. Before we get into it, October 1st is coming. We are in the month of September firmly now, and October 1st is important because it is the release of my first book. It's just a small memoir called Growing Upward, My Life's Journey Through Mental Health so far, and I'm so pumped to be able to share this with you. You can pre-order the book now, dustinpeed.com/book. There you'll find out how to pre-order it. The benefits of pre-ordering it are free shipping and the free audio book before the release. You'll also see information on there about the digital launch party. I would love to personally invite you to the launch party, which I'll be hosting live on YouTube on October the 1st, the release day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Cannot wait to share that with you. Also, if you want to be entered into a giveaway, chance to win the book for free, you can do that by making an Instagram post about it and tagging me in it, preferably a positive post about it, that you're looking forward to it, however you want to do it. Creativity and the angle is entirely up to you, however you want to do it. But if you make those posts, each post will be an entry as your chance to win a free pre-order of the book, Growing Upward, coming out on October 1st. So also, before we get into today, I want to thank you for listening. If you're listening to this podcast, I would love for you to leave some type of high star rating or review, whatever your podcast platform allows. It really helps me get this content out further to those that can benefit from it, like yourself. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm so glad that you're here. Would love for you to like this episode, which is the thumbs up button. Also hit subscribe and ring the bell while you're there so you're notified every time new content is released. You can follow me on social media as well at Dustin Peed, P-E-A-D. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the places, we're there. All right, let's get on to today's show. Music is so very important to me. It's important to a lot of people. It's important to me for sure. And if you read my new book coming up, you're going to hear kind of all the origins of music in my life and why it means so much to me. But music has a way, no matter who we are, has a way of reaching our deepest emotions. And so what I want to talk about today is the impact that music can have on our creativity. And I want to kind of hit four kind of key areas that it impacts our creativity. I'm going to go ahead and give them to you up front, and then we're going to dive into it. It hits your emotions. It can serve as a muse in your artistic endeavors. It creates sonic environment for you and kind of creating that right environment that supports your creative process. And lastly, it can build community. So here's what we mean by that. Like I said, to start off, music has a way of reaching deep into our emotions, and it can tap into feelings that we might not even be fully aware of. For instance, you're working on a project that requires some deep emotional connection. By listening to music that resonates with that desired mood, it can actually help you tap into the right mindset, and then the outcome from it can be more authentic and more impactful in that creative work. Number two, Beyond its emotional impact, music can also serve as a muse, meaning it can spark new ideas and perspectives. The lyrics of a song might inspire a story, or the beat might suggest a rhythm for a poem or a story arc. The overall vibe might influence a visual style of a design. Many creatives find that listening to music opens up whole new avenues of thought, helping them break through creative blocks and discover fresh concepts. For me, music is often in the background while I work, providing a steady stream of inspiration. I found all sorts of different genres and styles that evoke all different types of creativity. For example, I'll listen to classical music that'll help me focus a little bit more clearly because it's a little bit more instrumental, right? Not necessarily listening to the words, while more like upbeat, more modern tunes can kind of energize and motivate me during brainstorm sessions. So it really just depends on what we're doing. All of this, as I kind of finish up the first two and before I get into the last two, all of this stems from an incredible book that I read a few years ago called This Is Your Brain on Music by Daniel Levitin, Levitin. And in it, Daniel says this, check this out. For the artist, the goal of the painting or the musical composition is not to convey literal truth, but an aspect of a universal truth that, if successful, will continue to move and touch people even as context, societies, and cultures change. Man, there's a lot to unpack there, but essentially what he's saying here is that, listen, music can take an artist and creatives and people in general to a place that sometimes things that we can physically muster up on our own just can't reach. Imagine your favorite movie. Whatever your favorite movie is, I want you to think about it right now. Imagine that movie if it had zero musical score or zero soundtrack of different artists' releases or tracks and things like that. No music of any kind whatsoever. Now, would it still be a good movie? Maybe. Would it be as great of a movie? Probably not. That's what music does. It elevates the human experience, and it elevates our expression and creativity. The third thing, so we talked about the emotions that it can help us tap into. We talked about the muse and how it sparks new ideas for us in our creativity, but music also can create a special environment. It can create a sonic environment that supports your creative process. This might involve curating playlists. That's one thing I love to do, that can evoke certain moods or themes that are relevant to the project, kind of like we talked about in the muse portion as well. But specifically here, it's about finding what works for you in your unique creative process. Some people go, hey, if I'm doing this type of work, then I need to listen to this type of music, or maybe silence. But I'm telling you, at some point in your creative process, if you can introduce music into it, it will create the environment that will excel and lift up and elevate, is the word that I was looking for there. It'll elevate your creative experience and your creative output unlike ever before. The last thing is this, is that I believe that music can bring people together in community like none other. Now, I know that sounds like a telethon or something, or it sounds like an after school special, but I'm telling you, in my experience, that sharing music with other people is one of the most instant ways to connect with other people, and it helps build rapport and helps me to collaborate with people creatively in a way that I've never been able to before. They share music with me, I share music with them. Next thing you know, we're all inspired in a new and fresh way. So music can elevate your creativity through the emotions that it evokes, through the muse that it brings, through the environment that it creates, and through the community that it builds. That's what music can do for you. It is more than just a background noise. It's a dynamic, versatile source of inspiration that can elevate your creative work, whether you're seeking emotional resonance, or spark new ideas, or supporting that environment. Whatever it is, music can do that for you. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Next week, we're going to get into time management. It is a big deal for creatives, and understanding what is keeping them from creating their best work. Usually it's poor time management is probably number one on that list. So we're going to tackle that in next week's episode of the Creativity Made Easy podcast. I'll talk to you then.